by this time he dropped the brother too. So he was not Brother Jack McDuff anymore. By this time it was just Art. I'm sorry. That's who I am, you know what I'm saying? But by this time, he was just going by Jack McDuff. And shoot, he of course, he's known for the 50s and 60s stuff, but he did a nice little stretch of funk during the 70s. And again, just speaking of art, my goodness, peep game on this. Yeah. So, of course, you know, Sophisticated Funk, 1976 Chess Records, and I must say that is definitely art right there. Jumping right off into this thing, the single is what we have to my back, which is Juju. Let's break it down a little bit. Hold on. Yeah. Like I said, the single was Juju, and the backside was Dit Da Dit, and that's the lead-in track on the LP itself. Now, I am no sample snitch, but there is a version of Electric Surfboard. If you hear it, you might be familiar with who used it, but again, this is not the rendition that was used for the sample. Okay, but I will say this. Peace and love goes out to the Afros. DJ Hurricane, what's happening? Cool T, what's happening? Davey DMX, what's happening? So these cats they used this joint right here. Now, it never came out, so that's why I'm telling you about it. But they sampled this joker right here, and it was mad funky. It's a damn shame. I don't know if it was sample clearance issues or whatever took place, but it never came out. But Hollis Queens, much love, all right? Yeah. But this project here was produced by Billy Jones. Now, Billy was down with Brother to Brother. He was part of the group, but he was very instrumental in a lot of the projects that were taking place in the Sugar Hill Records / Cadet / All Platinum / Chess Records era of Joey and Sylvia Robinson. All right. And again, he put his finger, or he put that thing down on this project right here, which again, my favorites are the joint that you hear right now, Dit Da Dit, To Be Named Later, and also Summer Dream, which was real cool and dreamy as well. Yeah, just like that. Many Pads also was a track on here. I don't know what my man was on at this time, but he was very sensual, you know? Yeah, and of course, the rhythms are funky as all get out, but he's gonna get a goddamn just based off the cover and the concept alone, you know? Musicians on this was, of course, the Honorable Jack McDuff, formerly Brother Jack McDuff, which he went ahead and picked that brother back up later on as he progressed. Billy Jones again on guitar and production, in addition to Robert Banks and Walter Morris on them guitars as well. Clarence Oliver did the majority of the drum work on this, of course, with Scott Scher or Scott Score. Please forgive me if I mispronounce, but I'm just trying to give you love, my brother. Craig Derry and Scott Saunders on percussion. Frank Prescott beating that bass up, man. That cat, please check his creativity out on this thing. He was killing that bass, and he is actually selling cars in the tri-state area, the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. So peace and love, Frank. You did your thing on that project. And of course, to my back, we got Joe Farrell. He's whispering through that sax nicely. Craig Derry, Billy Jones, and Frank Prescott did the background vocals on this as well. And again, Joe was the feature on here. This thing definitely gets a goddamn award. And peace and love goes out to Kay Ritter for having the art design and the photography on this thing. Unfortunately, the model is unknown. This was recorded at the All Platinum Studios in Englewood, New Jersey, 96 West Street. Later on to become, or titled, they still owned it, but it was later named the Sugar Hill Records Recording Studio, or Sugar Hill Studios, or what have you. All right. And in my personal opinion, if this had hellified marketing or it was on a major label, it would have gotten some burn. It would have done some damage. Nevertheless, I appreciate this cat and everybody that put out work on this project, and I would request for you to check it out. We got to dig deeper than the compilations, the best ofs, and all that kind of stuff. Again, there are some nice tracks that are on here. And in closing, I would just like to say, we know it's unfortunate that some of the artists were burned with their creative works by not being compensated properly. And I will say this, though, there's a yin to every yang. So if some of these artists weren't on these labels, we may have not ever heard of them. Now, I'm not going to say that's the case here, because my man has one hell of a catalog, and please check him out. All right. But this is just one of those things where this dude was, he put out some beautiful stuff, and let's appreciate that. All right. My name is Art Appreciation. Be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us, and anything else you want to do, on the various platforms, in particular YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Respect the rhythm and rock on.